Now we're going to talk about electrical. And this would be your typical double gang box. That's a single gang box, and that's the width. That's a single, and that's a double. Right here you'd put two switches side by side, or you do a switch and a receptacle. But basically all this wire, let's see if we can show you this. Okay, so this is Romex. And this is a thermoplastic covering that then goes into the box. You can see right there, right in there, basically, the yellow jacket comes just into the box, half an inch. And then inside that you got the copper wire. This is all dead because there's no electrical in it. But at this point, basically what will happen is the electrician's going to run all the Romex to each box, and they have to run specific wires to specific boxes. So you'd have, an inlet from the sub panel supplying the electrical to this box, and then you'd have a switch leg going out, which is this one. That's this little curly Q, and has a little note on it, and that's telling you where it's going out to. And then the switch on one side, you get power in, and then on the other end, power out, going to can light like this. So it's probably a switch that activates that can. And then you can just see that they're running through the walls here. So show you typical install. This would be your standard Romex installation method. So they're drilling these holes right here, and they'll just go from hole to hole. And really all this is going from, that receptacle, and then it goes around the corner to that receptacle right there, right? And then in that case, it goes up and over, and this looks like it's supplying maybe some electrical to go over to another bedroom or maybe to the FAU. So this is your pretty standard Romex, residential Romex. In this case, we do like to do these can lights, a little bit better spec level for, say, a bedroom. Another can light there. These would all, like these two lights would be on the same switch. And then once these guys run all their rough electrical and pull their wire into their plastic boxes, then they'll basically start to make it up. And basically makeup would be, putting your black together, putting your copper or your ground together, and then your white together, your neutral. And they would twist these together and use a little wire cap. And then that would have a couple what they call pigtails, which come off of this joint. So you'd have two wires together and then the third one sticking out, and that goes to the receptacle. Although this will probably be a switch given the height of it. So just real quick, switches are high. So you can see that's like 4 feet off the ground, and then receptacles are low, right? Like, 18 inches off the ground. You can see this one here, right? It's close to the ground, okay? But it's all the same Romex. The 12 and the yellow is a 12 gauge, and then the white is 14 gauge. So this is a sub panel. This is where all the Romex leads back to this, and each circuit will then have its own breaker, and then the sub panel is fed by a main wire that leads from the main panel section where all the electrical meters will be, and then those feed wires into the sub panel, which and then in turn through the circuit breakers feeds wire to each of the receptacles. On the electrical side, we'll start to get receptacles, right? They'll be 12, 18 inches off the ground, and then we'll start to get switch boxes with the Romex. So this is what the outside of it looks like, this plastic wrap. It's like a thermoplastic wrap, and then inside that you can see a better one. So you can see basically that yellow wrap comes into the box, and then the electricians strip it, and then they'll hang the wire out here. And then what they'll do is they'll go and put all these together. They'll say, copper to copper, white to white, that'll get put together, and then black to black, and that's doing what's called makeup. In other words, they're making up the electrical or making up the boxes. Here we got a dual gang, so you get two switches or switch and receptacle. Underneath we'll get our plug and switch for garbage disposal, and then generally these guys are just running the Romex through the studs. You can see they drill the hole here, right here. That's a hole, and they'll just go, you know, through around corners. And the goal is obviously to connect. Not every box will connect with every other box, but you know, groups of boxes will connect, and usually the groups are by lights and receptacles. Usually will be on separate separate breaker legs.